it going? Welcome to Core Life Chit Chat. I'm your host, Nav Walia, and this is episode 7, titled That's My Sister. You might be wondering why I decided to call this episode That's My Sister, and the reason behind it is I tell an outrageous story later in this episode that inspired the title, so make sure you stay tuned to hear that story. And as usual, this episode, like all the rest, are going to be a chaotic ride that makes you forget about all your sorrows, such as not finding a suitable dating partner or having difficulty paying your rent, and also forgetting to water your plants. P.S. Your plants are not doing good. So, get your wine, coffee, water, or Gatorade, whatever helps you survive and thrive, and let's get the chit chat rolling. For today's episode, I have a dear friend on who has a bigger BBL than our boy BBL Drizzy. The guy with the fattest ass in all of Canada. My homie, Ryan.
Ass like Nikki, it's certified. Hello everybody, how you doing? Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I am
Dude,
good.
I heard you were in my town this past weekend. Why didn't you say hello? What, you dead? Am I dead to you now? What's up?
Busy, just 2 birthday parties and my mother-in-law's birthday celebration, so didn't have time.
That's lovely. Yeah, you're a married man now. How's that like, Ryan? Do you miss the single life?
Honestly, probably not. Because being single is a lot more stressful, I feel like. Just having to date. Victoria dating, as you know, is kind of a disaster. Everybody who's listened to this podcast knows. Yeah, there's some crazy women here, so I'm happy to be out of the game. Happy to be, working towards my future. And it's really nice to have somebody who, saves money with you and, keeps the bills down, so definitely a perk.
That's lovely. Man, I'm so happy for you. I am 25 now, and, I know you're well into your marriage arc. You're probably going to have a dad arc soon, hopefully. I'm in my 25-year-old arc, and listen, I mean this truly. I'm in that phase in my life where other people's, happiness and love pisses you off. You know what I mean? You're walking down the street, you see people, holding die. Yeah, I'm in my bitter stage.
I hate these people. Why can't this be me?
I'm in my bitter stage. I'm in my bitter stage, man. I'm in my bitter stage.
Well, as long as you don't start posting to Reddit, I think you're good.
No. The only thing I post on Reddit, I don't post on Reddit anymore. For those who haven't heard, I share about this on episode 6. I post on Reddit once and I get called a bitch. And, I think that's enough Reddit for me, man. Never.
You noped out.
Yeah, I mean.
What are you using now then?
Never.
You just doing chat on Pornhub then? Under the X videos, chats. Just yeah, dude. Just encouraging guys. No, man. I was thinking, I'm okay, well, what do I want to have? What do I want to record for this week, And I had an idea, and I'm glad I called you, and I'm glad we actually agreed. I want to take a trip down memory lane. Okay. We both done some quote unquote horse things. We've done some dumb things. Some pretty horse stuff. Yeah. So I was like, what would be lovely is taking a trip down memory lane to uni days. And who is a better person? My favorite times. Dude, I was told that high Dickens, he said the best of times and the worst of times. That sums it up, I think. I couldn't hear you. I stopped listening after Dickens. I got distracted. Shut the fuck up, dude. What are you, 5? Oh my god. Oh man. Okay, I am in my bitter stage, but speaking of bitter, what are bitter memories for if you can't remember them? And there's no bitter memories than memories in uni, Yeah. And I wanted to somebody who also understood my pain, and then that happened to be you. Yeah. Heartbreak. Yeah, you did have a pretty bad heartbreak in uni, yeah. You did? I'm talking about you. No, you. No, you. No. Oh. Okay. We're okay. Okay. Guy just forgot he had a girlfriend in uni. Oh, man. What a waste of time. You're married. What do you mean waste of time? You're married.
Well, the girlfriend in uni was a waste of time, not my
Oh,
wife. My
I
wife is
see. I
great.
see what you mean. I think, man, like just dating in general is a waste of time. Like, bro.
No, dating is
Oh.
worth it, but that girl I don't think was worth my time.
Yeah, man. I am not.
I mean,
gonna
after
lie for...
after the cafeteria incident, the infamous cafeteria incident.
Oh,
I mean, I'll let you
Jesus
tell them
Christ.
about that
Yeah,
from a
I
third
will.
person
I'll tell the
perspective.
story.
Because I'm
So,
so fucking
listeners,
traumatized, I might start shaking.
you're traumatized, bro. I'm traumatized. Okay, let me set this off. So, listeners, this is how it happened. It's 2018. I think it's maybe March, April, and Ryan's dating this girl named Aisha. You guys been together for what? I think 2 years at the time, right? A smidge over two.
Probably fucking 3, man. Almost 3.5 probably
Okay.
by then.
So you've been together for almost 3 years, and at uni, we're sitting in this cafeteria on a bench, and Ryan's like, "Hey, like my girlfriend's gonna join. Let's wait for her, and then we'll head out wherever we were going." And knowing me and Ryan, we're probably just going to like sit in Claire Hugh and I don't know, like watch random YouTube videos. And I'm looking at Ryan. He's looking at me. His back is turned to the door, so he does not see his girlfriend walk in. I see her, and Ryan and I are laughing, and I'm like, "Hey, Ryan, like your girlfriend's here." I say that before she reaches you. As soon as she reaches him, she slaps the shit out of this guy's shoulder and open public starts screaming, "Why didn't you pick up my calls? Why didn't you reply to my calls? My phone is dead. I needed a charger and I texted you multiple times and you did not care enough about me to bring me the charger. What the hell is wrong with you?" And I'm looking at her and she's staring at Ryan. Ryan just looks at her, looks back at me, and I'm like, "Aisha, we're in public. Sit down." And she's like, "Sorry, it's just been so stressful. I had a psychology exam and like it just didn't go well." And I was like, "Bro, what are we doing?" And the funniest thing to me is you were eating tacos and you just continue eating tacos like a shameless person.
I'm pretty sure I was
Okay.
just eating tacos the whole time. But I don't
You just
remember her
kept
hitting me at all.
No,
Did she actually hit me?
I swear to God, she slapped your arm. I didn't mind the yelling is uncomfortable. I don't mind. It was the hitting in public that I was like, "What the fuck?" And that always cracks me up. And then you walk away to like use washroom or something. I'm like, "Hey, you okay?" She's like, "He just doesn't listen. It's just so shitty. Like sometimes you have to be strict with him." Does that mean she was beating you behind closed doors, Ryan?
All I'm going to say is hashtag men's rights. No,
How did
she
you
was
handle
good.
that situation? Yeah.
Honestly, she was good. It was just like, I think, when you have one of those moments you want to take it out on somebody else. That was basically my last straw, as you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember for the last year of uni, you were just fucked. The last year of your relationship, sorry. Man, you just were miserable. I hate to say it. Bro, you were like complaining to me and M every day. You're like, "Bro, this, I don't want." You know it's bad when your bro is trying to hang out with you till 11 p.m. on campus so you don't have to go home. I think that's when it was
That's a
bad.
true story. That is a
Yeah.
true story. But
Yeah,
I
you
think
try
that term was my most fun term in uni. When we just hang
100%.
out
That was our...
on
Yeah.
campus together every night.
Every night.
Work
We
out, go
would
to
literally
caps.
just we would go to like Claire Hugh and just start watching Netflix. Literally just laying on the floor on the ground in the classroom just watch Netflix. What we could have just gone home, but we just didn't. And I think that's the
Yeah, and
most
we used to hang out
underrated
with that
uni shit.
Jason guy.
Oh
You
my
remember
god.
Jason?
I remember
That guy just
Jason.
disappeared. I think he got abducted or something.
Dude, Jason was fucking crazy. I have so many funny stories. So pretty much, I had a friend named Jason. He was in my degree in my classes, and dude, that guy failed organic chemistry 3 times in a row. Like UVic was like, "Bro, go do this course elsewhere because you can't do it anymore here. We have a 3 time limit max." And I remember asking him, like, "Dude, like you're sitting at like such a high grade." Like he would go into his final exams with like a 96 or 95. And unfortunately, the exam for Chem 232 was you have to pass the final, and he just couldn't do it. And I was like, "Okay, what's happening?" So I would ask him, and his notion, believe it or not, call it insanity, is he wouldn't study for the final. He would just study the 2 days before the final. And my thing is, okay, the first time you did it, you failed the course. Why are you doing it 2 more times? Okay?
And I never really
Dude,
understood that guy. First
I don't
off, stop
understand
watching
that.
so much hentai. Second,
Dude,
it's like, right? And then second, you're Chinese. Just hire a fucking Chinese guy to take the damn test for you. Nobody's gonna know the difference. You fucking idiot.
no. No. Oh, dude. Yeah, speaking of hentai, I just realized, yeah, that guy, like, I remember him telling me, he's like, Nav, you play Overwatch? I'm like, no, I don't. Why? He's like, there's a lot of Overwatch videos on the internet. I was like, what do you mean by that, man? And he just gave me a wink. Like, that's how I knew my
Oh
friend's a
God.
pervert. Like, that's how I
Oh
knew.
my
I
God.
was like, oh my God, my friend's a pervert.
Yeah.
Like, what the
He
fuck?
probably moved. Where did he go? He joined us like probably
I
a
have
furry
no,
convention or something.
COVID happened. We were good friends, and he just completely just out of the blue just stopped talking to me. I couldn't get a hold of him, but it was crazy, man. I love that guy. That guy did some most insane shit. He would be like, he wanted to go to med school because of family pressure, and we had this class. It was thermodynamics, and how it worked is there's 3 midterms and a final, and the final is 100%, right? So whichever mark is higher, such as doing the 3 midterms and the final, and that grade is higher, you get that mark. Or if the final mark is higher, you get that mark. And the final is notoriously difficult. So me and my friend Nick at that time, we were like, okay, bro, like let's kill the midterms because the final we're already going in with the professor on first week saying the final is notoriously difficult. Okay, first midterm happens. I get like a 90. My friend Nick gets like a 95. My friend Jason 13%. Second midterm happens. I'm sitting about 85. Nick's sitting about like 85. My friend gets 7%. On the third midterm, he doesn't even show up. Jason doesn't even show up to the third midterm because he's like, I just slept through. And he's like, okay, guys, it's 100% final. And the class was really difficult. So I remember like taking 10 days just to study for that final because I knew this is like brutal. It's chemistry, but only math. And I like text this guy. I'm like, hey, man, you want to study? You want to study? You want to study? Doesn't. It's exam day. Me, Nick, we link up in Clairview to just go over some things before the exam. And Jason joins. He's like, I freshly got up. Like, I'm fully recharged and everything. And me and Nick are doing questions. And this guy's like, how did you get there? And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, how did you solve that? So we explained to him. And the questions he's asking are equivalent of 1 + 1 = 2 before the exam. And we're like, dude, you're doomed. Like, what are you doing? And blessed and behold, he failed that final too. It'd be really interesting if he's in med school. I wonder how he pulled that off.
Oh, I mean, I pray to God he's not in med school. If he couldn't figure out organic chemistry, he's probably going to kill somebody if he's a doctor. So let's be honest, man. Right?
Yeah, but I don't know about Jason. But those uni days, man, that we spent, easily one of the most poor days of our lives too. Do you remember the mozzarella sticks?
Oh. All too well. Think about it daily. The problem is mozzarella sticks have somehow gotten more fucking expensive.
We got the best price. Do you want to tell that story?
Sure. I mean, as I recall, we had just finished working out, or maybe coming from Clairview. I can't remember.
I think it was
late
working out,
nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was late night, and it was caps, right?
Yeah, caps, yeah.
So I think we walked in, and we both realized that we had absolutely no money.
No money.
I don't know why we were there, now that I think about it.
Dude, your dad's a doctor. My parents pull enough money. Why the hell did we not have access to money? I don't know.
Because we have brown parents, too. Lack of access.
Because brown
They're
parents told us not to spend money.
They always tell you shouldn't work during university, too. Focus on your studies, right? So,
Yeah.
but it's late. We get in there. There's a table of a few people. What was it? A couple girls in the corner?
Yeah, and there was like 3 girls sitting on a table. And like
I think it was 3-4 girls sitting at a table. And at the table next to them, there was I'm pretty sure it was like a whole thing of mozzarella sticks. And I don't even know if any mozzarella sticks were gone when I think about it.
None were gone. It was a full plate.
A full mozzarella stick.
Steaming, yeah.
Yeah, it was still piping.
Piping.
It was still piping. And so we go up to the chicks and we're like, are these your mozzarella sticks? And I think they said, no, some girl was here and then she got all sad and then she walked away and she never came back. Yeah. And so our fat asses immediately devoured her mozzarella sticks. Like some rabid street dogs.
Yeah, like we literally go to this group of girls who are not even sitting on the table where the mozzarella sticks originally are. Okay, they're sitting at a completely different table. We're like, hey, are these yours? And they're like, no. And yeah, we just probably took some like sad girls' mozzarella sticks and we just ate them. And I felt so poor eating them. I don't think either of us were happy. That was like a low moment. We're both acknowledging we're so fat No, we need food, but we're so broke we can't afford food, and we're taking other people's food without them knowing.
That's the lowest I've ever stooped for a little bit of protein, post-workout protein.
Dude, that's the lowest I've ever
Gains,
stooped
bro.
for like hard. Dude, that's the lowest I've ever stooped for like hard milkies. You know what I mean?
I know what hard milkies are. First off, so
Dude, hard milkies is milk. I mean, cheese, dude. It's milk.
Oh,
It's
okay.
hard milkies. Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's that
Hard
or
milkies,
yeast
okay.
infection, but that's besides the point. But yeah, man, that was
That's
the
too much
most
information, man. You almost ruined my night with that one.
That's yeah, man, getting abused in cafeteria and stealing mozzarella steaks.
You had some pretty crazy times there too with some chicks.
Dude, oh my god. I got a
What
story.
was that one
This
girl's
is
name?
M?
Yeah, M.
Yeah, M. M, dude, I was stupid. You ever have I am 100% sure every guy that's listening to this podcast, or this episode, I should say, has had this moment where they've been like extremely dumb about women and they just couldn't pick up any notion or any hints. This is a true story, okay? There was a girl, M. She went to the same high school as me, and for 4 years in high school, we never talked. Like, not once. And in university, in second year, she was randomly in my class, and I was like, hey, I know you. And we started sitting together and started talking, and it was going really well. And Em and I really hit it off. And I always saw Em as a friend. Most outside of that, I didn't really pay much attention. This is legit true. I'm so dumb. It's like Tuesday night or Wednesday night, and it's 11:30 at night, and she's like, I can't sleep. Do you want to talk? And I'm like, sure. That's like, indication one. I'm like, sure. She FaceTimes me. I call her, and she cancels my call. She's like, FaceTime. She FaceTimes me. We're FaceTiming for like an hour and a half. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, not much. I'm just talking to you now. And she's like, she lived like 5-minute walk away. And she's like, are you home? And I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm home. It's like midnight. And she's like, do you want to hang out? And I'm like, nah, not really. She's like, no, I haven't seen
boy.
you in the past 2 days. Come through, let's hang out. And I was like, sure.
Rough.
So, she's like, I'll be over, I'll drive over, we can go for a drive. And I'm like, sure, sounds good. She comes over, she's wearing completely different set of clothes. She has makeup on somehow. She has lipstick on. She smells amazing. And I'm like, why are you all dressed up? And she's like, well, we're gonna hang out. And I was like, okay, weird. And I just walk away. This is like the Amy thing from grade fucking A, dude. And so I come upstairs after opening the front door of my house, and we're sitting, and she's like, give me like a tour of your house. I do, and my mom's over, and obviously my mom's Indian, so she's like, why the hell is there a girl over at midnight? Okay.
Exactly.
And
God.
and so Amelia goes, where's your room? And I'm like, oh, it's in the hallway. And she's like, do you want to show me? Do you want to chill in your room? And I was like, no, I'm watching Rick and Morty right now. You can go ahead and like take a look in my room. It's pretty clean. And I just continue watching TV. I like continue watching TV. What the fuck is wrong with me? And then she's like, she chills, and then we're watching Rick and Morty together, and she's vibing. And it's like 1:30. And she's like, okay, like I should head home. And we had a good night, good chats. And I didn't pick up these signals. I drop her off to her car. She lingers. I give her a hug, and she walks away. Again, I come back. I never thought of it fuck all twice ever. And that was the first instant. The next morning, I get a call. It's at like 9:30 a.m. And she's like, hey, my bus is late. Is it okay if I hang out at your place? If you want, I can cook dinner. I can miss class. My ass was sleeping. I missed out on a girl making me breakfast.
Cook dinner?
Cook breakfast.
Okay.
She's like, I can cook you breakfast. And
Man,
here's
white
the
girls
thing,
love to cook guys breakfast.
I missed that signal. And there was a new bus like literally 20 minutes later. I missed that, and I was just sleeping. And I wake up, and I was so dumb. I was so dumb that like we had a friendly banter. So I used to call her nerd. And like she messaged me at like 12:30 because I like wake up at noon, and she's like, wake up, call me, I'm free, let's talk, let's hang out, let's get coffee. She was at uni, I was at home, and I literally messaged back and like, what's up, nerd? And she's like, hey, sweetie, how are you doing? And I was like, sup, nerd, not much. And I was like, looking back now, I'm like, fuck.
I mean, I might have played to your advantage actually, but
I
And
will
like,
say though, you know the notion where the notion is like just play hard to get, like
yeah,
that notion. I would say that is to an extent true.
you kind of
But
also
my
like
thing
big
is,
broed her too, right? So
she was pretty great. We just fell out of touch. I became too annoying. Like I remember one time I came to class. We were in EDD 101, and Emma was like, "Hey, like, did you put lips, what is it called, lip balm on?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "I was like, what do you got?" She's like, "Oh, and they just look particularly nice and plump, very kissable." And I was like, "Yeah, that's cute." Dude, what the fuck, Ryan? This is Virgin Days.
but
Allow
you
it.
know
You
what
know what I
though?
mean?
You
Allow
do
it.
say you never want a girlfriend, so I mean, what would have happened anyway?
Yeah, no, nothing would have happened. Nothing would have happened. Me and my friend T, we don't talk about that story. And the way it all went down was so bad. I literally just, you ever like talk yourself out of a relationship?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
have
done that. It was heading in
some
that
good
direction. We
ones
were heading
too.
into, yeah, we were heading into a good place, and I just started saying some insane shit. And she was like, "Okay, well, now that's a red
Like,
flag
what
a little
kind of
bit."
insane shit? Were you like, like we need to start gassing Jews again, or
Stop. No, nothing. No, no, no Auschwitz stuff. No Auschwitz stuff. Mostly, I don't know. I think I went on a tangent how like cheating is not bad, and that cheating there's shades of gray. It's never black and white. There's things that go into it which make it socially not acceptable, but dismissible. And she was like,
that's
"Haha,
the stupidest
no."
fucking thing I've ever heard.
I know, dude. I was 18. Allow it, man. Well, Ryan, there was another layer that was happening during the same time. The infamous "is that the cousin" story. You remember this?
Oh God, I do. I think I do. Yep. It was a
So
beautiful, optimistic day. I recall.
my step cousin and your cousin. This is where the story is. Tell him.
Yeah, sun was shining. I was having a good day.
Yeah.
We were sitting in my car. I think we were at the Carsa parking lot.
Yeah.
You, me, and Greg. Let's call him.
Yes, Greg. Let's call him Greg.
Greg loved to point out attractive women everywhere he went.
Yeah.
He was
Scumbag.
having a great time pointing them out today. And then he focused in on this one chick, and he's getting very detailed. Talking about shoulders, talking about back arches, talking about boobs, talking
Yeah,
about
little bit
hair,
of butt too. Yeah. Yep.
a little bit of the butt. And he says, let's go in for a closer look. And if I recall correctly, Greg had spotted his own sister. Is this correct? I believe this is
Yes.
correct.
This is indeed correct.
Oh my
What
God.
the fuck? Man, what the
Sweet home Alabama.
Yeah, that's the yeah, I know. I remember sitting there, and as a step cousin, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, ah, fuck, I just can't with
What a
this shit.
kaleidoscope of emotions.
And you were actual blood cousin. How did you
Yeah.
feel in that moment? How did you feel, Ryan?
I went straight home and I took a shower. What do you think?
I remember we saw it, and Greg's reaction was, oh fuck, that's my sister.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I can't breathe. Dude, and I'm like, I'm fucking crying. And he's like, oh fuck, that's my sister. And you just straight face. I just look down and I'm sad. And you just drive you in a parking lot. You floor the gas so hard, and we don't say anything for the next 10 minutes until we get to our each respective house. And his answer was, "What? Shit happens. Like, I didn't know. I didn't see her face." Dude. And you know what's funny? The story of Greg keeps giving, Ryan. Greg's like a trauma that keeps on happening. You know?
Yes.
I have a
It's the gift
I
that
have a
keeps on
story.
giving when it comes to
Yeah,
cringe
it's-
stories.
It's the cancer that keeps on recurring, is how I usually like to call it. Do you remember when I set up my friend Jessica with Greg?
I do. How could I forget? It's probably the
Terrible.
worst date story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Bar
All right,
none.
people, this is one of the most ridiculous first date stories ever. So basically, Greg comes up to me and he's like, I want to be stuck in love. And I said, okay. I don't have a friend for you except one person at that time, my friend Jessica. Jessica was single, and so was Greg. And I said, hey, Jessica, what's your type? And Jessica's type was Greg type. You know, like nerdy, like sports, is into science, and all that jazz. And I set Jessica and Greg up on a date. They're going to a bar, and it's going great, from all I heard. And then my friend Jessica tells me this story afterwards. After the date, Greg calls me, and Greg's like, the date went pretty great. I would love to see her again, blah, blah, blah. But I knew, knowing how Greg is, there's a little bit of tinge of something more.
You always gotta follow up and make sure.
Yeah. So I call up my main girl, Jessica, and I'm like, yo, Jess, let's talk it out. How was the date? And Jessica said it was a good date, but there were some weird moments. And I said, well, what happened? Jessica says that her friend, who's a musician, she's amazing, she has a concert at her place for her new album that she released. So they all went to that date, and she goes to Greg, and she's like, hey, Greg, I have to use the washroom. Can you please do the one thing that she asked him to do all night long, which is, can you just hold my purse for a second? I'll be right back in 2 minutes. Greg says, okay. Jessica goes and uses the washroom, and when Jessica comes back, guess what? Jessica's purse is sitting on top of somebody's sandwich, randomly in the middle of the room. And as Jessica said at the time, there was mustard and mayonnaise all over her purse. What the happened there, man? What?
How do you
And
fail
Greg
the
is-
one simple test that any woman can give you? All you have to do is hold the thing.
My thing is, and Greg is nowhere to be found. She said she looked around for Greg and she couldn't find Greg. Where did he go? And secondly, why is there mustard and mayonnaise on Jessica's purse? And why is it on top of somebody's sandwich? Why is it on top of somebody's sandwich?
It's an unanswerable question.
And I'm like, okay. And apparently, throughout the night, Greg was eating pizza, holding an aluminum foil. However, when the dance would mellow down, the songs would mellow down throughout the concert, Greg would speak loudly during the quiet moments of the song as a way to hold our conversation.
Oh.
And her words were, it was so awkward now. All the people were staring at her. That's gotta be some weird, uncomfortable shit, right?
So awkward.
And I called Greg, and I'm like, hey, Greg, what up, man? What about this? Why were you speaking during, like, the slow times in the song? And he said, and I quote, well, when else am I supposed to talk to her? It's not my fault the band wouldn't stop playing music.
Classic fail. Shouldn't go to a concert on your first date, buddy.
Why was her purse on a sandwich, man? That's what I want to know. Why?
You know, there are a lot of neurodivergent people that don't know they're neurodivergent, so that is one plausible explanation.
Oh, man. The gift that is Greg. God bless.
And I do recall there's more to that story, actually.
There is more. There is more. Greg had to use the washroom, allegedly, but all the bathrooms are filled. So where does Greg go to use the washroom? At Jessica's friend's backyard.
No.
Yes. Did you? Yes. Why? Why must you do this? Dude. Dude,
Oh,
I
man.
can't.
Well, this is,
This took a really terrible turn. This took a really sad turn for him.
and he said this date went well. Imagine how his average date goes.
Yeah. He said the date
She didn't
was
run away
9
screaming this time.
He said the date, and I quote, was 9 out of 10 would see her again. And I said, how was everything? He was like, it was great. His words were, I was an utter gentleman. I'd be surprised if she could say anything bad about the date.
No, he
Dude,
didn't.
no.
He said he was an utter gentleman.
He said I was an utter gentleman, and there's nothing she could say bad about the date, I promise.
Wow.
And Greg is just a gift that keeps on giving. I hate Greg. And I know, like, I am not related to Greg. I'm Step. As a person that is related by blood, Ryan, how do you feel about having Greg as your cousin?
You know, it could always be worse, but I think those stories are a time for another day. I think what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas for tonight.
Oh, that reminds me. There's a Vegas story, and that involves a different cousin. Let's call him Craig.
That's exactly what I thought he should be called. Craig.
Craig and Greg.
Perfect.
But for now, let's close this chapter. It was a lovely having you on the podcast, Ryan. It was lovely taking
Thank
trips
you.
down memory lane.
It was lovely being here.
Next time I'll have you on. Let's tell the story of our other cousin, Craig. That'd be a fun one.
That one might lose you some followers,
quite
but
literally
sure, let's
what
do
happens-
it.
I will say this. With Craig, that story, that cousin, what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas. I promise that.
Oh boy, it does not.
It does not, brother. But anyways, thank you for listening to another episode of Quarter Life Chit Chat. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Toodles!